All right, we're live. Thanks for joining me, everybody. We got another Friday night podcast interview with Chris Pierson, owner of Rare Square out of West Virginia. We're going to talk to him about his business. He's a second-generation contractor, installer, I should say, and the owner of Rare Square. And, you know, Chris is very talented craftsman, tile installer. And what he does is pretty unique for his area. You know, he really stands out as one of the better guys over there in West Virginia. And I'm really looking forward to getting to know Chris a little bit. Thanks for joining me live. We are live. If you want to ask questions throughout the interview, feel free. We will answer them as we see them. We're going to take this thing from the top. So hang with us, and we'll see Chris here in about 2 minutes. To another episode of the TileMoney podcast. I am your host, Luke Miller. Together with my audience, my guests, we are strengthening the tile industry. We're doing this with our weekly podcast, made and designed for contractors by contractors. This education is assisting tile contractors to build sustainable, profitable businesses around the world. The result? A stronger industry from the installer up. The only way we can get a stronger industry is to strengthen the installers. Today I have Chris Pierson. He is the owner of Rare Square, and I'm super excited, and I've been meaning to interview Chris. I've been getting to know him at Mud, as well as Coverings and Tice a while back, so I'm really anxious and happy to have him on the show tonight. Before we bring him on, though, I do want to thank Laticrete International for being a sponsor of the podcast for the last 3.5-4 years. When I met David Rothberg in 2018, I told him I was starting a business education tile podcast, and his eyes lit up when I mentioned the word education, and he's believed in it ever since, and the whole Laticrete team has added a lot of value to coming on the podcast over the years, as well as interacting in the Facebook group and providing valuable business insights there. I also want to put a plug in for Tile Nation. This is a new company. Together with my partners, we're providing advanced education for porcelain panel installers or people desirous to get into porcelain panels. We had one guy show up. He had just gotten off a 200 panel job, and yet he came to our international training last week in Omaha, Nebraska. We've got a 5-day training coming up in June 13th. If you're interested, go to TileNation.com to learn more about that. Chris, you got a lot of fans tonight, brother. Christian, good to see you, brother. If you want to stay in touch with all things Tile Nation and not miss out on our trainings, text Tile Nation to the number 877-630-3260, and we'll be sure to inform you when we're having our events. And you can get on our email list, TileMoney.com, and you can stay in touch with all things Tile Money and Tile Nation that way. And we do have a mastermind, and you can go to TheTileNation.com. TheTileNation.com to learn about our mastermind. Let's bring Chris on. Chris, what's shaking?
How's it going, boss?
It's going
Sitting on
good.
the porch here in West Virginia.
Nice. Well, thanks for taking your time out here on this Friday evening to share your knowledge with the Tile Money tile friends around the world. We appreciate it.
Oh, it's no big deal. Got the day off a little early anyway. Some countertops got pushed back, and a backsplash didn't happen. And I don't need to grind 70 hours a day, every single day. So we took a long weekend.
Nice. Good for you. I appreciate it.
Nice shirt.
Oh, thank you. You noticed? I was going to ask, where did you come up with this logo? I mean, it looks like a cattle logo, one of those branding.
Me and the wife brainstormed for a long time over what to make the name. Probably a couple nights, maybe even 3 nights. And we finally came up with Rare Square. I wanted something that rhymed, something that was easy to remember, but also semi-described what I did for a living, right? So we kind of just came up with it. And then we went to a tattoo artist. So these are copyrighted original designs. This and the wording on the back of my shirt is all original artwork, and there it is.
I like it.
Worked. I like the art. I like the design, and yeah, a local tattoo artist, so supporting local business. Yeah, I love that logo. My favorite. We
Yeah.
didn't put tile after it. There was a reason for that. I
Okay.
didn't want my name to say Rare Square Tile or Rare Square Stone. Right? I just wanted it to be Rare Square. Sort of like, if you find me, then you find me. Like a secret club. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that was the whole premise on why it doesn't say tile or anything like that after my name. So
I love it. I mean, we haven't even started the interview yet, and you're already dropping bombs, man. That is a branding genius, and I'm not just blowing smoke. I mean, that's what a brand is all about. A brand, it doesn't matter really, and I applaud you for stepping outside of the norm, right? Because most of us, including myself, like to play it safe. My business
there's
name,
tile on there, so everybody knows.
yeah, my business name, Miller Tile and Stone. I mean, so safe, but when there's a 1,000, bananas out there, you got to be the pineapple if you want to get picked
There you go.
up,
No, I agree. Same.
you know what I mean? You gotta be something different. And the fact of the matter is, you're betting on yourself this way. You're betting that the impact you're going to have with your tile installations is going to be so much that they're going to remember Rare Square because of not just another tile guy, but Chris Pierson. Rare Square, the brand. It's rare.
That is 100%, man. And a lot of my stuff. Okay, well, I'm kind of lucky. I quit working for the GC, but I still sub off, because it's all high end work. But I just wasn't getting paid enough, and I felt the time was time. It was time to step it up.
Mm-hmm.
So we got the license, which is fairly easier than California, obviously, and then just submitted a 2-week notice and the bid on the first shower that I was already working on at the same time. And through her, we work on high end clients, like most of us want to do all the time. And they help grow the brand a lot. She's helped grow the brand a lot. So their company,
Yeah,
I'm really appreciative to it.
I like it.
I'm booked until next year.
Nice.
50%, 60% or more is through that same GC, which has no problem writing the checks. And here we are.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, listen, let's do a proper introduction for people who don't know you and kind of your history. Give us the 10,000-foot overview. And I know you're second generation. Maybe you can touch on that, and then kind of tell us where you're at in the country and what you specialize in. I mean, obviously tile, but go ahead and give us the 10,000-foot overview, please.
Oh, absolutely. Well, my name's Chris Pierson. I live in Worthington, West Virginia. The closest major city to me is probably Morgantown, West Virginia, which is where WVU is out of, West Virginia University. I'm sure you guys have seen the Mountaineers, sports followers. So I'm about 40 minutes south of there. I service the Tri-City area. I try to stay within Morgantown, Fairmont, Clarksburg. It's a 3-city area here. There's lots of high end here. Lots of people like to retire here. WVU is a medical hospital. There's lots of doctors. There's lots of nurses, RNs, you name it. There's plenty of people to support the luxury tile industry around here. So I like where I'm at. And then I learned from my dad. I've been in business about 2 months over 3 years. So I'm just over 3 years now, personally. I've been in trade since I was around 14, I'd say. My father, who's in a lot of the groups too, you guys know him, Steve, he taught me everything from a young age. We did lots of carpet back in the day. He was a carpet guy. But we also did lots of vinyl tile. We did ceramic tile. Nothing like we do today. It was obviously a lot smaller, There were no 12 by 24s back then.
Right.
And what else? He's still around, still doing carpentry. Eventually, I broke into the market, getting back into the trades when I was about 22 after a short stint as a line cook, which was kind of fun for a couple of years in my early 20s. I was being lazy. I'd worked in the trades, my whole teens, and I was even subcontracting carpet jobs off of my father when I was 19. He was sending me out to do commercial glue down, with seams and whatever. But I quit. I said, I'm sick of this. I'm going to do something else with my friends. But I got back in at about 23, 24, and have been back ever since, hopping from job to job, making, I think, $8.50 an hour at one time when I was 29 years old. Making $8.50 going back into the trade. That's no money at all. And just kind of built up from there, became the resident tile guy in the first shop, quit there, and found the GC I work for a lot now. and worked on being the lead tile guy there. And then over the years, it just progressed to starting the business and moving on. I really like super custom showers. These are probably my most favorite thing to do, and gotten to the point where the harder the better. It's taxing on my brain, but at the same time, I like a challenge, and the cookie cutter gets old. I just I just can't do cookie cutter floors for 6 months straight, like some commercial guys. But I applaud guys making money from that. It's not that it's bad. It's just not for me. And I like to specialize and do the hardest stuff I can. We're working on getting some mud walls in. I haven't done any yet. I do mud most of my shower pans now, but I haven't been brave enough. Maybe after this year's mud. I'm already booked up, so I'll see you guys there for sure. But,
awesome. Yeah, we had a good time at mud last year, but I didn't see you getting in the mix much, Chris. No, I don't remember.
You're not lying. You know, the first day I went to the Ardex training the first day with a couple other guys. So we spent the whole day, and that's when Ron Nash and everybody was pulling walls. And I said, man, I feel like I missed out a lot. I learned a lot, you know, but I also felt like I missed out on some stuff. So I think I'm going to forego any trainings this year so I can spend the whole time on the floor playing with the mud. So I can't wait to go. It's going to be a good time.
Good to see you, Richard. Looking forward to seeing you too at mud. I hope so. Hey, Chris, real quick, we're going to take a pause here. Now, we were chatting a few minutes before we started, and the sound was crystal clear. And then I did the intro. Did you change something?
I did. Let me.
All right. Now I can't hear you at all. I think what you got to do probably is turn your Bluetooth off. And I was talking to Chris, and the sound was great when we first started. And
how about now, Luke?
Yeah, I like that better. I think so.
Okay. And the motorcycle will go by. You might hear some loud traffic. We live on a windy road in the country, and guys love to drag their Harleys up. So, but I thought maybe the headphones would work, but I think they're just junk.
I think this is a little better for me, at least. I hope it is for the audience, but I'm picking you up pretty clear, and then I can hear the birds a little better too, which is nice.
Good, excellent.
Yeah. So now you're just doing high-end custom tile work, right? No more anything else, right? Or do you?
Most of the time I don't even demo. Truthfully, I don't even like demoing, and people don't want to pay me. I'm not a cheap guy. I'm not cheap in the demolition either, because I have to haul off the trash and pay guys, and so I guess I'm kind of a pansy on that side. If I can get out of doing demo, I'm going to get out of doing the demo. Okay. But I'm a licensed plumber also. So rare square clients that comes directly through me, if they want me to include the plumbing, which it goes for setting tubs, running all the plumbing, I can sweat copper, you name it, run PEX, all the things. And I'm licensed in my state too. So I can do the whole remodel, sands, drywall, and painting, which some guys might laugh at, but I cannot stand to do drywall. I hate it. I don't want to learn it. I don't like painting either. And I tell my clients right off the hand, I know a really good drywall guy. I know a really good painter, and I know a really good hardwood floor guy too. Yeah. And so I'll give you their numbers. We can corroborate. But basically, I like doing only tile, and that's what we do all the time, every week. So.
Well, don't feel bad about that. I mean, what you've done is you've niched down so hard, and you're just being loyal to your brand. You're a rare square. You don't want to do no demo. You don't want to do, anything.
It helps me stay on top of my game. I can practice more methods. I get better at what I'm doing. I could try new things, and, I don't have to worry about going to lay a hardwood floor next week or LVT or whatever. But
I can see that. So you're a specialist. Now, do you work alone or do you have help?
I have an apprentice. He's 23 when I can get him to come to work. He's about the fifth guy I've been through in 3 years. But he shows the most promise. He's actually fairly talented. I've had him set a backsplash on his own, a linear glass and stone one. Worked out really nice, looked pretty. There was a couple mistakes. I let him make them. There weren't mistakes that a client would notice, but they were mistakes that I noticed immediately, and when we come back to grout, he started grouting and it was messed up. Then I said, look right there. Look right there. I said, now, if the client notices that, you're tearing that off of the wall. Not that it was super subpar. It's well within, but we have to let them work. How will they learn?
Yeah.
He's better at grouting than I am, I think, at this point, because I make him grout everything. So, but he's a good kid.
Yeah.
And I hope he works out. I like training somebody new in our trade. There's nobody around here. There's nobody to do it. I can't do all the work.
Mm.
If anybody wants to come sub off me, I've got crap loads of jobs. So
there you go. There you go. Look at the beauty. I mean, it looks beautiful over there. I mean, I've never really spent much time over there, but I've been wanting to come up.
This is just the front porch. We're on about 53 acres that goes all the way up the back hill. So
nice.
We have a nice piece out here, and it's about 20 minutes from the interstate, but it's worth the commute. I don't mind at all.
Yeah.
We have our privacy.
Yeah. So you mentioned apprenticeships and training, guys. Let's talk about that a little bit. You know, what is your preference for, you know, hiring and then training? You know, are you looking for just that greenhorn young guy? Or is that kind of your preference, from what I understand?
That's hard. Some of the really younger guys, they can't read a tape measure to save their life, you know, and it's tough to teach them. Some guys get fractions, some don't. I try to teach them how to break it down, you know, where you're only dividing less than an inch, you know, and you keep it separate and then add it together. But my apprentice now, his father passed a while back, which is sad, when he was in his teens, younger teens, but his father was also a do everything himself kind of a guy. He was a carpenter guy. He worked on vehicles. You might even hear his air compressor across the street. My helper lives right across the street. He's a neighbor. So, so he already had an affiliation with tools.
Sure. But
he didn't really have a lot of knowledge in what I do and in setting tile and the methods. So it's really nice that way. Him already knowing how to handle a tool, affiliated, he knows how to cut things, and I'm just honing the skill as you would. But I guess I kind of got lucky there, him being a younger guy that already had some experience with his father, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. Now, you mentioned he misses a lot of work and stuff like that. I mean,
he's 15 minutes late in the driveway when I pick him up.
Yeah.
When I pick him up, and he's 15. Come on, man. Let's go. It's time to get to the job site. You know, we're late. We got work to do.
Well, I guess if he's consistent, that's one thing.
He's been speeding us up. So he said that once a month or two ago, and I said, you better zip it, buddy. Because he's like, you know, I was late, but we still got all that work done in 6 hours, and you said you wanted that done in 8. And I was like, I just gave him the glare, you know. Zip it, buddy, or we're staying overtime, you know, until 9 o'clock. But he's a good kid.
And I guess
I'm trying to enroll him in a program, and these programs are across the United States. My wife's a one-stop director for a Human Resource Development Foundation, and through them you can get grants, and you can actually have the government pay your apprentice as long as they're on the books at W-2, and they will pay for so many hours of training as apprenticeship, and then they will also, after that ends, they'll pay for OJT, on-the-job training. You can get an apprentice or helper if you do your paperwork right for 6 or 9 months for free.
Yeah.
No matter what you're paying them, the government pays their salary.
Yeah.
So,
what's the name of it again?
You can look it up through Workforce, which is a fairly common name. If you look into Workforce apprenticeship programs, they're in every state. Every state's different. Yep. And my wife runs half of the state here she's a one-stop coordinator, so she brings everyone together. There are veterans programs that create jobs. There's Workforce that creates jobs. All of these job creation foundation members, she controls and holds job fairs for them. And so, but the money's there, if you take the time to do the paperwork.
Yeah, Workforce. Google Workforce, guys, and like Chris says, the money's there. You got to put in the, you're starting to remind me of Aaron Albright, I think out of everybody I've interviewed, it's you and Aaron who have talked about this program or something similar to it. And I know it does take, quite a bit of work up front, but it's like everything. It's like prepping a shower. Yeah. You rush that, you're going to fight the installation, so you gotta understand that business is the same way. And some of these things you're going to feel, and I experience this all the time because I've went from working with my hands to now working on this computer. And there's times on the computer when you just feel like you're moving so slow, and you probably are if you're not that used to it, and doing this type of office work, filling out applications and forms and all this stuff. But
drives me crazy.
You got to do it. You got to do it, or you got to pay someone to do it. Here we
That's
got one
funny.
said, we
It's
got a
on my
grant.
goals list.
What's your goals?
Hire a bookkeeper.
Okay.
It's right there on the list, man. I want somebody to file these receipts, take care of it, look at my QuickBooks, and do all of that. I don't want to do any of it.
Yeah.
I'd rather just focus on my work.
Mhm.
The office work kind of takes away from being a business owner, but it's the necessary evil, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we've got Mike Brown wants to talk to you later. He shared his email, and then we
Oh
got
yeah,
a
give
lot.
me a call.
Yeah. So we got people.
My number's on the back of Luke's shirt.
Yeah.
You guys give me a call anytime, man. I'm always free. I talk to everybody, so you guys hit me up.
Right on. No, you're always eager to help, and that's what I appreciate about you. In West Virginia, is there a lot of custom work like you're doing, or are you kind of fighting for that work? What's the in your work area, what are the homes like, I guess is what I'm saying.
I don't have to fight for my work.
Okay.
If I do have to fight with it, it's all about, well, lately it's been about scheduling. So before I even pre-qualify people on their budget, I pre-qualify them on scheduling anymore, or at least for the last 6 months. Before I even ask them how much money to spend, I imagine, okay, you found me. I'll ask them how they found me, first of all. If they say I typed your name into Google, okay, we might approach that a little bit differently about budget and scheduling. If they found me through a reference, they already know that I'm not the cheapest guy. So the first question I ask them, what's your schedule? When do you want this done? Are you willing to wait 3 to 6 months, depending on the size of your project? Because I'm booked out 6 months on some large ones, really big ones. It's like I can't fit 4 or 5 weeks and pull it out of thin air. This requires some advanced planning. So there is a lot of high-end guys around here. There's a couple in the groups, not very many of us. One of my buddies is John Larry. He does pretty good work. He does good tile work. He's a local guy. We talk a lot. We haven't collaborated any. And one of my friends actually quit the contractor I used to work for about the same time and started a GC business. And I've subbed some of the more difficult showers off him. And he's getting better at setting tile. And anytime he calls me with any question, I'm more than happy to help. Anything that I know I didn't grow up in California as a C-54 pulling mud walls on the Union, because none of that is here.
Right.
But if I do have an answer or any kind of insight, I'm more than happy to help anybody.
Yeah. And that's the beautiful thing of, the social media and podcasts and stuff is, I think, we're opening up people's eyes. Some people never leave the city they were born in, and they get in arguments because they're used to doing something one way, and they can't imagine that across the country you can't do it that way. It's not available, or it's the wrong way, because of climate or whatever, so there's a lot to take in, and yeah, that's a good reminder. Like, I tell guys that all the time. Like I always grew up in areas. I mean, I think I grew up, I don't think I've ever been in a position to even work for a union. So people like union guys are like, why don't you work for a union? It's like, don't see one.
What union?
I know. It's right. So like that is it's all like that, it's across the board. Well, being that you have that 6 months backlog, you're one guy with one apprentice and, 6 months plus backlog, it sounds like. Do you have any scheduling conflicts coming up and issues with that? Like a lot of people with all these, different material shortages and stuff.
There are nothing but scheduling conflicts right now.
Oh, really?
I just met with said GC this morning, pick up a deposit and go over scheduling. And we've been held up on one job by a countertop not being installed in time. It was I had 4 backsplashes back to back out of nowhere. It was just crazy. But this last one got held off for today because the tops aren't in. They won't go until next week. And then we're held up another week on a job that gets a custom 8-inch handmade hexagon tile on the floor and walls. So it's pretty crazy, but it's in a crazy old log cabin that's been built onto by by the owners over many, many years. And so they don't know what they're going to get into. So I have kind of a week break, a 1 week. So what's going to happen is I have a contract from January that pushed me for 10 weeks, 2.5 months, right into all my other schedules, because I'm not booked out for a month. I've been booked in January. I was booked until October. And so like, look, I can't get to your job till the fall now that it's been pushed 10 weeks. It wasn't all the client's fault. It was the handyman guy they hired to set the tubs and everything. It just kind of fell apart. It is what it is now.
Sure.
But they can I will either refund them or we'll fit their work in where we can. I have a week, so I'm going to call later this evening or tomorrow and see if they still want to proceed. And if they do, then we'll spend a week over there. It's 2 tub hops, 2 floors, and a laundry room floor. But it's all technical. One bath floor is penny round. The other bathroom is 1-inch Metro Hex on the floors. And they're both subway tile surrounds with integrated niches, and then a 8-inch hexagon laundry floor. So if they're willing to wait, which I know I know it's not totally their fault. The schedule got pushed for 10 weeks, but it's definitely not mine. And I can't ask everyone else down the line to push all the schedules 3 to 4 weeks ahead to complete this large job. It's not just an easy smack it in 12 or 24. These are some difficult jobs. I'm going to pour the penny floor, obviously, and we'll see how it works out. But that's we can only go like 2 months now, and the GC is still like, well, we got like 4 bathrooms in the fall and into the winter, and where are we going to fit those? I've got 2 more here, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we stay busy forever. That's the goal.
Yeah.
It's hectic, but that keeps the money coming in, right?
Now, are you a 7 days a week guy, or are you 5 days?
No way, man. I don't work weekends.
Nice.
I won't. We don't take lunch breaks, though, and we don't mess around. When we get to the job site, it's work time. Now, my apprentice, if he wants to take a lunch break, it's more than welcome. Like 90% of the industry, maybe a lot of you higher-end guys do. I'm not going to pay a guy to sit around for 30 minutes, but I pay my apprentice very well. He gets 15 an hour on average, but I give him bonuses every single week, and I buy lunch and I do a lot of other things for him. And he's about to get a raise as soon as he can do just a little bit more of my job. We'll bump him up some more, and that's a good wage. I don't know what it's like around everywhere else, but in West Virginia, that's pretty decent. I quit my job making $16.50 at 30 years old, or at 39 years old. I was making $16.50 as the lead installer. So if that tells you anything about what they pay tradesmen around here that aren't an electrician with their own business, then
that's wild stuff, man. And I mean, I'm sure like they say, the cost of living is probably a little bit lower than a lot of cities and stuff like that too. So it balances out, I'm sure. Maybe even
mortgage rates are lower, but bills are a little higher. It's kind of strange.
Okay. All right.
Not as of late, though.
Huh?
Lately, they've been going up a lot. Everything has. We know about the inflation rates that are going on.
Yeah. Where do people move from? Like if you're in Oregon, you got all those Californians. Where are people coming into your state like that out of somewhere?
No, I think we lose a lot more people here. We don't. I don't know. We've been floating around, but I think generally we lose more residents than we gain. I think. I think people do come here. Where I've got a lot of Pennsylvania and Ohio plates I see floating around in West Virginia. But I think they'll come in the state to do work.
Come in and out. All right.
And then we have people that grew up here that moved away for work, and when they retire, they want to come back to West Virginia. It's very beautiful here. It's a beautiful state to live. Low natural disasters. We get floods in floodplains in the lowlands, but we're in the hills, so there's not hurricanes, there's not tornadoes, there's not huge floods that flood the whole cities. That's just we kind of are a little bit protected in the mountains, which is nice.
Yeah. Well,
so, retirees move back here, I guess I should have said. That would have been the short answer, right? And then we put in their tile showers.
Yeah. Hey, not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. I mean, retirees have money, so that's good. So listen, I really like that advice that you gave, just a minute ago. If your schedules get messed up, it's not your client's fault, but it certainly isn't your fault. And you said that really well. And don't feel, I feel like so many of us feel like we need to just bend over backwards and kill ourselves or kill our families, steal our family's time even on the weekends and stuff. And, you're of the mindset now where you're like, it's just not going to happen. The schedule got messed up. There's nothing I can do. It's not fair to my other clients. We're going to put you on the end. If you don't, and the fact of the matter is, I imagine that they won't be able to find anybody else much sooner either.
True. She asked me for recommendations, and I said I really don't have any. The maybe one, maybe two guys I could recommend that would do a good job. Are also booked out 8 to 10 months, like because I know them personally, and I don't have anyone else to tell you. I kind of said good luck, and so I figure I'll be putting it in, and they're just gonna have to wait a little extra. I hope they don't get too mad about it, but it's really not personal. It's business, you know, and we'll fit them in where we can. I've stressed myself for so long, and my father told me, hey, you know, don't read the story before it's written. Take your time. You don't know what's going to happen next.
Smart. That's some solid advice right there. And Steve, thank you, Steve, for that. Don't read the story before it is written. I like that.
Dad tells me that all the time. Because I'll start tripping out. I call him about every day, and he'll say, son, calm down. You're really, you know. Like, okay. Stop flipping out.
Well, that's years of life, right? Teaching them that things aren't always what they look like. It reminds me of a story I heard, you know, what do they call that? A parable, I guess, you know, of this guy who, you know, something good happened. And then the old man said, was it really good? And then some time goes by, and it turns out it wasn't that good. And then something bad happened to the kid. And the old man says, it looks bad, but let's wait and see. And then it turned out okay, you know, it turned out good. And so it's the same thing, you know, the same principle, I guess, and I that's a good reminder for me. That's a good reminder for me, because I get in my head a lot, you know, just based on current circumstances. And I don't tend to think like, you know what, I've been in tough spots before, and I'm still alive, and I'm still fed.
I'm still making it somehow. Something always happens. One of my friends told me, I think it was Jimmy Gladney, you know, manifestation. You know, manifest your reality, and it'll come true. We'll already see it happening for you. You know, so
looks like Thomas Mendes is joining us on YouTube here. I think.
What's up, Tommy?
Unless it's another Sticks and Stones, it could be another Sticks and Stones. Let us know. I love Jimmy, that he's into the manifestation. You know, he talked about it at Mud. I was there with you, and when he talked, you know, he's probably told you a few times, but I appreciate Jimmy's advice there on manifestation and just being positive, you know. Oh, it's Luke. Good to see you, brother.
Sounds crazy, but I told my wife about it. She wants a Jeep Wrangler. Lord help me. And she was out with my daughter shopping a couple of days ago, and she said, "Me and your daughter are manifesting our Jeep." Oh, here we go. We know where it's going to manifest from, But yeah, I like that advice. I think it was really good advice. And I try to look at the positive outlook on things. I'm kind of an optimistic guy. I don't like being super negative, although I catch myself. But,
sure,
you know, it's better to be happy. You know, you don't know if it's your last day here. So, you don't have to work every weekend, dudes.
Yeah.
You know, to heck with that. It's too much. It's too much. And then I don't like my job anymore.
Right. Yeah. How long can you work 7 days a week before you get burnt out? And
you're gonna start hating it. You're gonna hate it.
And then you're gonna, you know, go back to being a carpet installer. You know, do something different. This is rare indeed. We got both Sticks and Stones owners here. You know, two of them at least. We got Luke and Thomas. So
duel to the death. Yes. There's another rare square up in Toronto. You know, I'm the only rare square in America, in USA. And then I looked, and about a year and a half after I started the business, somebody in Toronto started a rare square tile, but they put tile on the name. And I was like, hey, who are you? What are you doing with my name? But it's okay, man. Everybody's far apart, so it's not like somebody's going to. I did have a guy from Canada call me. That's funny that. Sorry to change the subject.
No, change it.
It was about a month ago. This gentleman calls me and starts asking me my timelines and everything, and that might be okay and something. And after we talked for about 10 minutes, I had my earpiece in. I'm laying tile, obviously, and he said something about. And I said, "Are you calling from Toronto, sir?" He's like, "Yeah, I thought that was weird. You had a West Virginia phone number." And I was like, I said, "You're trying to call the Toronto Rare Square, and you called
the loser up there."
He said, "You were first on the Google search."
Nice.
There we go.
I like it. I like that.
That was funny.
Yeah. Tyler Hub joins us from YouTube. He says that he's to that point. He's burnt out. He doesn't even want to get up to go to work. I mean, that's a tough spot to be in. I think everybody's been there, you know, business owners especially, and it really is a scary spot to be in. And there are times, you know, I've told the story before, like when my wife got pregnant, I started working 7 days a week for 8 months, you know? I mean, there's times
when my wife were kids.
Sure.
When my kids were young, I did too. As I would work the job all week and then side jobs on Saturday and Sunday, every week.
Yeah. And there are times in our life for that, but we need to be careful not to fall into that pattern. In my opinion, we need to be careful because so many 7 days a week, and then 6 feels like you're lazy, and then 5 feels like you're, you know, and then you get, in other words, you get to the point where you pass that, you actually will surpass that block, and you'll just start to think it's normal. And then if you work 6, you're like, what am I doing? I should be out working. And then if you work 5, you really,
So you're really not, you know, we hammer 8-9 days in.
Yeah.
And we hammer straight through. We take a slate break here or there, and we do take snack breaks, and we'll stand around and talk sometimes. So it's not like we're totally hammer mode 100% of the time, but we work our days, and the clients see that too. We come in, we're professional, we protect everything. Protect the client's property is the number 1 and number 2 rules of Rare Square. And so whatever it takes, we protect everything viciously, and we do a good job. We try to do our best work possible. And if something's messed up, we fix it, you know, and I think it goes a long way now as the clients. We're pretty friendly guys too. So I'll talk to clients and try to befriend them, and find common interests is a big thing. You know, you always need to find a common interest, whatever it is, and stay away from religion and politics. That's my advice on that.
That's great advice, man. That's great advice. I'll take it. Now, yeah, Tyler asks, you know, do you ever feel guilty taking days off? And we just discussed this, and I like what you said there, Chris. You said, listen, we slow down. We you know, we're not rushing the job. This allows us to, what was your number 1 and number 2 rule? This allows us to actually perform and hit that rule. What was it again? Number 1 and number 2?
Well, protect the client's property.
Yeah. So in other words, here Chris is, he's saying, I'm only going to work 5 days a week so that I don't get burned out. I don't make so many mistakes. I'm at a little bit slightly slower pace. And in the long run, what you find out is you're actually getting more done if you can slow yourself down. Typically it takes time to get to that rhythm, but if you slow yourself down, you get into a rhythm, your job site's clean, the homeowner's place is clean, everything's going good. And you get into that rhythm, and you actually start producing, you know, like you said at the beginning, 6 hours of work, and you were able to do what you thought you were going to do in 8 because
you're not so burned out and beat down, and your brain's not so full. And if you're running a business, and you don't have a bookkeeper like me, I spend a lot of time with paperwork. I'm drawing up schematics, I'm drawing plans, I'm doing bids, I'm calling clients, making material lists out of catalogs. I could use a bookkeeper to help me make some nice spreadsheets out and some other stuff, but still doing it kind of old school. And then you need time for you need time for a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
I know when your kids are really young, they're young, but you get older, you're in a business, you don't want to work 7 days a week. I mean, I don't. You guys can, but I just traded a trailer for a little camper up there, and I bought a fridge for it today, which is awesome. And the kids helped me clean it out Friday, and it's kind of beat up, but it's a cool little camper, a little Dutchman or something with a couple little beds, and we're going to fix it up and camp in the backyard, maybe drag it in the woods by my Jeep or something. You know,
nice.
Take the weekends off. You have time to do fun stuff like that, you know, and let you ease a lot of that stress from the work week. It's coming back. You know, we're going to be there. We're going to be hammering 9 hours on floors. And
Monday comes fast.
I'm 45 almost, so
yeah,
I'm getting to the point I don't want to work 7 days a week. I'll be dead, man. I won't be able to move.
Yeah.
So.
Amen. You know, it's a mindset shift. You gotta shift your mindset into thinking, I've got to work 7 days a week to keep these clients happy, to, you know what, I should only work 40 hours a week or whatever, because I've got to give them my all. You're not going to do anybody any good, your wife, your family, your clients, your community, if you burn yourself out and then you go do something else, or you just end up dead, or, just, lost or whatever, because you're burnt out. You you can't fulfill your obligations. You can't fulfill your destiny to serve these people to the fullest extent possible. As business owner, it's our job to give our best to the client, and by burning yourself out, that's taken away from it. So shift that mindset just a little bit there, Tyler, and I think your guilt will start to get less and less and less. And then as you work less and as you work five, start with 6 days a week and then 5, and just wean it down, and you'll start to feel, a lot better about that. And especially just work on your mindset a little bit there, I think, is what you should do.
Yeah, something to look forward to. The weekend's coming, hooray, it's Friday night, we can hang out and party on, or whatever you do for fun. And you can plan for your Monday, and you can feel the dread that we all feel on Sunday afternoon. But it's almost over. But
yeah, don't steal that.
Do better working 5 days a week. We're really focused on the project when we're there. I think, I'm not saying anybody can't have 7 days a week focus either, but hey, I think after a time you get to the point where you don't care as much about this minor detail or that minor detail. You'll let more stuff slide. Maybe you won't. I can't describe everybody, obviously, but for me, keeping it reasonable, 40 to 50 hours a week, 5 days, we're done, and see you on Monday, apprentice.
I like what Luke from Sticks and Stones says here. He's saying that, he basically doesn't show up to the job till 10 a.m. because he wants to eat breakfast with his 2 young daughters in the morning.
Absolutely.
And you know what? I mean, it's our right to make, as a business owner, you set your hours, right? Just because every other contractor starts at 7.
It says rare square, Chris Pierson, owner.
Yeah.
Not the homeowner. I'm the owner.
Right,
so.
Right.
Within reason, but like
sure.
you're saying, but
yeah.
Why not? Start at 10 o'clock, work till 6. You did 8 hours.
Yeah. Damien, I love Florida, man. I really do. It's really, really cool down here. Just this week, in fact, I went to, I took my daughter to, she's 5, and we're in a lot of like homeschool groups. And so a group of them went and out in the forest and a river, and it was like 30 miles inland, and I was out there sifting in the riverbed for shark teeth, and I found like 5 or 6 shark teeth, and, there's alligators in the river, and the kids are swimming, and, the parents are watching, and it's just a blast, man. It's just a different way of life, but I'm loving it down here.
That sounds cool.
We didn't see any alligators, but they're there.
Yeah, they have to be, right?
Yeah.
In the swamp.
Yeah.
I want to come visit next year in Orlando. We'll see what happens. My wife wants to come instead of Vegas. She wants to go down to
Coverings,
in Florida. So maybe I can see you guys next year.
That'd be great.
And, I think
that'd be really good
for it.
Yeah, and if you come visit us, afterwards, some of the people do that. They'll spend a few days before or afterwards, and I mean, we're right here in Sarasota, 20 minutes from the ocean. World class white sand, just
seen the
just
pictures of
cool.
your backyard. Amazing.
My backyard's pretty nice. Yeah, it's just a rental house, but the reason I chose this house was for that backyard, for sure.
Yeah, it's nice, man. It's nice to chill out.
Yeah.
That's why I chose to do it out here instead of sitting in the kitchen. I did have my tile backdrop. We tiled the whole dang house, but it's such a nice day, and it's beautiful out here. And I figured maybe you guys would appreciate the trees and nice weather. We finally made it to summer. Hooray. I don't complain about the heat because I like it better than freezing. So I'd rather sweat my face off all day,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, brother. Well, listen, we've been going on about 45 minutes. If you're good to hang for another 5-10 minutes, maybe we could talk about one more subject.
Oh yeah, sure.
So the other thing we were going to talk about was, we got 2 things I think left on the list, but I kind of like the idea of talking about firing clients.
Oh yeah, favorite. So, okay, the first story, my first year of business, I was 6 months in, and maybe even 4 months when I started to book this guy. Well, somebody had put a shower in his house, and it started leaking, but not really. Just a tiny bit started molding, and all the changes of plane were molding. And what was strange was the mold traveled up grout joints. It was 12 by 24s, 3 joints up. and you could see it, like it was almost climbing the walls. Like, I don't know what was wrong with the shower, but something was wrong with the shower. And I think the floor was failing. It was pebbles, but it hadn't leaked through the underside yet. But you know how that goes. Eventually, you just don't see the rot until the floor finally falls through. So I worked out a contract with this gentleman to reinstall the shower. They wanted epoxy grout and a mitered niche and a bunch of other things. Pretty big shower. It was 8x6 or something. Pretty huge, and we get all the way down the road. Everything's good. I've got material lists, and it was an insurance job. They're basically blaming a large manufacturer for the failure of the shower. And I wrote a letter of recommendation to said manufacturer saying that I believed that this was why the shower failed also after inspecting it, and put in the bid, and it went through. They sent the check. They're like, fine, we'll cover it. No problem. They sent the money for complete with materials, labor, everything. They were covering 100% of the cost. I write the contract. The client changes the contract once. And I said, okay, I can add something. You can't write on the contract, though, And it went back and forth. And I said, okay. And how did this happen? The day the funds got transferred into my account from the insurance company, he knew what happened, and he hadn't signed my contract yet. He added 3 or 4 addendums onto my contract, then signed it and sent it to me. And I said, this isn't going to work. And he wanted to use my contractor pricing, the discount that I get for picking up and delivering everything, to pay for his trash removal. And he added all this at the last second. I'm telling you, he tried to take over the contract.
Yeah.
I rejected it. I immediately went to the bank, wired the money back to the manufacturer the same day, sent him a letter saying that I'm no longer fit for your project and you're free to hire the contractors. I know he was really mad, but I said, this has gone too far. I could see the nightmare unfolding in front of my eyes. And it had even come as far as they gave me the money, sent it back. It's like, you're fired. They gave me a crappy review and left it on there for a year. And then 1 year later, he said he was sorry about the bad review and something else and removed it. But I still have the person blocked. But I was like, okay, well, thanks. But, that still wasn't very nice of you.
Right.
To take over my business. It goes back to, it's Rare Square Chris Pierson owner.
Right.
Not homeowner owner.
Right.
So
right.
We have to play by our rules. But it was just a weird one. And then I already talked about the January that got postponed that I'm probably going to pick up and do. Hopefully I don't have to refund them, but they're pretty cool. I've talked to them on the phone. They just don't want to wait. I'm like, I can't help it.
So what you're saying is Rare Square is not Burger King.
It's not what?
Burger King, where the customer is always right.
Well, you get it your way, but you might not always be correct.
I love that story. It's a good reminder for everybody that you can fire clients, and there's a way to do it professionally, like Chris just described. There's a way to do it. And yes, you're not going to make friends, but to be honest, that's a huge red flag. Somebody trying to adjust your contract and squeeze money out and then signing it without really asking and then just thinking you're going to sign it. I'm like you. I see red flags. I see this is going to be a week, 2 weeks of hell, whatever. Working for this person, because it's just like, that's the kind of, he's not going to stop. That guy's not going to stop trying to mess with you. If you let him, it's like my dad always said, I give these kids an inch and they take a mile.
You're not lying about that, Thomas. I just seen a comment pop up. But, I had a call from a guy just last week. Hey, I got some tile. I got your number from such and such. Ready to start it, and we'd like to get it done by Memorial Day. And I said, you mean next week? I said, yeah, that's not happening, guy. Even for a backsplash. I said, it's gonna be like a month, man. I'm totally booked, and I don't leave one job to do another one. I'm at a client's house. I'm at their house. That's how I work. And you wait in line. But
yeah, I love it.
But no, it's just saying, you're allowed to fire a client. You're probably going to get a crappy review. But I'd suggest you do it really professionally and by the law. I had not done one iota of work in that client's house at all. The only thing I'd done was organize the payment from the insurance company, made all the materials lists, which he got for free. And I'd been to his house like 4 times, plans, everything, and all that time I spent, probably 12 hours or more, was for nothing. So I think maybe after a year, the client realized that and took the bad review down. Like, I spent a lot of time working with you.
Yeah,
nothing.
that's crazy. That's crazy. Now, how did you handle that review? Did you respond to the review? Was it on Facebook or Google?
I did. I responded, and I said that what did he say? He said something really, tried to be tongue in cheek about it. He said, rare but not square, or something like that. 1 star. And I was like, hey man, rude, so I went in there and I just responded, I have not done any work in this client's home at all, nor received any monies. And that was it. Just kept it short and sweet. I'm not going to get in some stupid argument with a client online. I just kept it short and sweet, and then I blocked them. And a year later, they took the review down. I'm not saying everybody's going to take the review down. Most people probably wouldn't, but
that's rare. That was
I just
rare.
had to let it slide.
Yeah.
It's gone now, and I moved on, and I ended up working that entire month anyway. It didn't matter. The work was still there.
And you know what? And that's the perfect way to handle a bad review. In fact, if you guys get a bad review, don't freak out. It's like you were saying,
respond to it.
Well, you do. Yeah, you do need to respond, but don't freak out, because if you respond in a professional manner, and especially if the person is, exaggerating, or you never worked for them or whatever, but even if you did work for them and it went south, which is going to happen, if you respond in a professional manner and explain the situation, people will read that response and they'll respect you more. Like let's say you have 3, 4, 5-star reviews, a couple 2-star, 1-star reviews. That's not going to really hurt you, because the fact of the when you're shopping, think about it. When you're shopping, if you see 5-star review, you start to think like, man, this guy, this person or this product must be perfect. And I know that's not true. So then your mind goes to, I think these reviews are fake. I think he bought the reviews. So that's how people are thinking these days. Like, you don't want to see necessarily a 5-star contractor. You'd rather see like a 4.2 or even a 3.8 contractor, because it's more realistic.
It is kind of, yeah, because people think, well, they can't please everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't please everybody.
Pay more to get ahead on the schedule, huh? I don't know. I haven't done that one yet. I don't know if that'd work, though. Yeah, probably not.
Well, I was going to talk to you about value, and the fact of the matter is, I'll sum it up. Rare Square's value is in its reputation and in Chris's integrity. Talking with you over the years, you're a man of your word. You hold to what you say you're going to do, and you hold to your integrity, and that's the reputation you have, and that's the reason why you continue to progress and work in these homes, because people, that gets around, and people appreciate it, and that's how you show your value. And that doesn't come, a lot of the listeners of TileMoney and stuff might be really young in business. A lot of this takes some time. It really does. And if you stick to your word and you do what you say you're going to do, that's how you express and display your value. And that's how you get to raise your prices over the years.
100%.
Yeah.
I just laid a fireplace for some folks that I put their kitchen floor in over a 1/4-inch Durarock and a 1/4x1/4 trowel, no back butter. And I know that I shaved some of the backs of the tile. It's been in for about 14 years. The floor is still there. It doesn't have any crack grout joints, and it's still fine. And they recognized me. I was setting the showroom backsplash. It's been 14 years. Here they come in. Hey, Chris. And I'm like, oh, hi, you. I remember doing tile for you. It's been so long. And how's your floor? It's great. We want you to do our fireplace. So they just told the GC, since I was already there, like, we want Chris to do it. That just recently happened. And nice. So it takes a long time to build up a reputation. I've been working for a lot of these people for forever. And they know me from friends of friends. It's West Virginia. But everywhere. The world's a small place, especially for specialty guys, if you're specialty in your region. So I don't know, try to stand out and definitely be true to your word, 1,000,000%, man. Do what you say you're going to do, and don't rip people off. Customer service, blah, blah, blah.
I love it. That's a good way to end it. Blah, blah, blah. All right, Chris. Well, listen, I really appreciate it. Where can people find you on Instagram and what are you on TikTok nowadays, or where are you at?
I'm Rare Square WV on TikTok and Instagram, Rare Square on Facebook. I don't have a YouTube yet. Maybe someday. But I'm on Facebook and TikTok, and I'm not on Instagram very much. More Facebook and TikTok. And my website's raresquare.net, done by Happy Tile Guy. I got that off Luke a while back. It's looking pretty good, but I got to yell at Grant. I need some new pictures.
Okay.
Put up. But no, it's
yeah,
awesome.
We'll help you out. Raresquare.net, that was?
Yeah, www.raresquare.net is the website.
Okay. And if people want to follow Chris on TikTok and Instagram, go show him some love at RareSquareWV.
Yeah. And it's the R. You'll
check out his website. Check out Chris's website, raresquare.net, and you'll be able to see what a Happy Tile Guy website looks like.
Yeah.
All right, Chris. Well, you enjoy your evening. Thank you again so much for spending some time with us and sharing your knowledge.
Fun, man. Thanks for interviewing me.
Absolutely, brother.
I was worthy. Just an old crappy tile guy. But
don't say
can't
that,
wait
man.
to see everybody at Mud, man. You guys better get out there. Everybody get out there. I'm going to be out there. My flights are booked and the house is rented. So see you there.
Yep. 18th through the 20th, Idaho Falls Mud event, August 18th. All right, Chris.
Thanks, Luke. You're the man.
All right, brother. Enjoy your evening. Have a good weekend.
You too, buddy. Bye.
All right, tile friends. Well, I thank you guys for being here and giving comments and questions. Thank you, Joseph. Good to see you on here, brother. We'll talk to you next week. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. If you're just tuning in, you can subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, iTunes. You can subscribe to the podcast on YouTube, all the podcast player apps. And just look for Tile Money. Hey, everyone, please, please, please stay positive. I know things get weird in this life, but please stay positive. And remember, just like Chris said, you don't know how things are going to end up. So stay positive, tile friends. And above all else, please, please, please stay profitable, tile friends. Over and out. Talk to you next week.